So, is this extreme cold weather that's about to go across the US because of climate change? That is something I used to even say when I was part of the climate movement. And it's really some mental gymnastics to blame cold weather on climate change, but the climate activists love to find everything. So, let me explain what's going on. So, we're about to get all this cold weather because of the polar vortex, and the polar vortex is a band of strong winds that stay high up in the atmosphere, about 10 miles above the Earth. And that's normally what keeps cold Arctic air locked in near the North Pole. And when the polar vortex is stable, that jet stream stays smooth and the cold air stays contained up in the poles. But every year or two, we'll see the polar vortex weaken. It gets disrupted, and that's when these jet streams get wavy and cold Arctic air spills into the southern US, or the mainland of the US, which is what we're about to see. So that's when we get these really brutal cold snaps. So there is no long-term climate trend on these polar vortex events. And remember, climate change is measured over at least 30 years. And so the data shows no increasing trend in these polar vortex events. So polar vortex does not mean that the climate is breaking. I fell for this. I even made a video that went viral about this 6 years ago. It's just something that happens. And again, I think it's really important to remember with the age of social media and the 24-hour news cycle, we're going to be seeing extreme incidents of ice covering different parts of the country. It's going to be scary. It's going to be easy to get hooked into this fear that this is somehow very exceptional when extreme events have always happened. It does look like this may be the most extreme winter storm we're seeing in the past maybe decade, but that maybe checks out. Every decade or so you have an extreme event like this. So stay safe, stock up on food, but nope, the polar vortex is not becoming worse because of climate change.